Welcome back to another Mew Mew Blog Thingy. For the next 5 videos, we'll be going over the edits and localizations of various dubs of the show. As many of you know, the English dub of the show, Mew Mew Power, had a lot of cuts and edits. But I won't be discussing that until the 3rd video of this topic. Today we'll be going over 2 dubs that were heavily localized with a few edits, but still managed to keep to the original story, and are considered by most to be very good dubs. That's right, we'll be talking about the Italian and Korean dubs. Mew Mew Amiche Vincenti, or Mew Mew Victoria's Friends, aired its first run in Italy from March to July 2004 on the channel Italia Uno. The show was mostly uncut, the only one I can recall being part of the Umi wo mite ta scene in episode 16 being partially cut, most likely due to them not being able to acquire an instrumental version of the song. The other insert songs of the show were replaced with instrumental versions, and the opening was replaced with a new song, which is really catchy. In fact, it's playing in the background right now. As already stated, this version was localized as well. The names of landmarks such as Harajuku and Okinawa were omitted, and all the protagonists have name changes. But since there were no visual edits to any of the signs, and the fact that the characters' last names were kept, I'm sure it didn't take long for the audience to figure out where the show took place. Despite the name changes, they were pretty close to the originals in terms of sound. For example, Ichigo's name was translated to Strawberry, Minto was changed to Mina, Rio was changed to Ryan, and so forth. Some were confused by the change from Zakuro to Pam, but there are a few who think that it matches with Pomegranate. The episode titles were almost the same, but they were shortened, probably to avoid spoilers. Also, a few terms were changed. The Mew Aqua keeps its name, but the bigger versions of it are called Aqua Crystal. The Mew Mew's weapons and attack names were also changed, in which both have the word ribbon in them. For example, Strawberry's weapon is called the Heart's Ribbon, and her attack is Ribbon of Light. Pam's weapon is called Pam's Ribbon, and her attack is Ribbon of Energy. The aliens keep their names, although official sources spell Quiche's name as either K-I-S-C-H or G-H-I-S-H. Just call him Quiche, it makes things a lot simpler. The Blue Knight and Deep Blue's names are directly translated to Cavaliere Blu and Profondo Blu. The one-shot characters keep their names, although some are shortened, such as Norihiro becoming Nori. The only name that was changed was Minto's brother Seiji, whose name was changed to Sergio. Are some of these name changes sounding familiar to you? Well, that'll be discussed in a future video. The only issue viewers seem to have with this dub is the Blue Knight's and Deep Blue's voices. In the Blue Knight's case, he was first voiced by Ryan's voice actor, but then it was switched over to Mark's voice actor starting in episode 38.
Punta alla bocca. Devi colpire quando ha la bocca aperta.
Presto! Per evitare il peggio dovete unire le vostre forze.
While a bit distracting, they weren't the only dub to do this, so I'll let it slide. As for Deep Blue, he was voiced by a woman for the first 45 episodes, probably to match the higher-pitched voice that he had in the original Japanese version. His final form was voiced by Alessandro Rigotti for the last few episodes. I'll admit he did a pretty good job and sounded especially creepy in the last episode.
Attraverso il varco che porta all'altra dimensione è entrata un po' di energia dell'acqua cristallo, era quello che mi ci voleva. Sento il suo potere crescere dentro di me.
Non farti illusioni. Tu non farai niente. Questo corpo e l'acqua Mew che vi è racchiusa appartengono solamente.
Despite that, the Italian dub was very well acted and kept to the original story and characterization, and seems to be loved by many fans, with reruns of the show reaching about 2 million viewers when aired. Also, the popularity of the anime helped with their distribution of the manga and release of merchandise, including snacks, tiny figurines, dolls, and school supplies. In my opinion, it's one of the best Western dubs to watch. All of the Italian episodes are pretty easy to find online, and there were DVD releases. Although unfortunately, the DVDs only have the first 45 episodes. The Korean dub, Berry Berry Mew Mew, aired from August 4th, 2004 to February 17th, 2005 on the Seoul Broadcasting Station. Unlike the Italian dub, which just avoided naming anything Japanese, the Korean dub changes the location of the show from Tokyo to Seoul and renames landmarks as well. For example, Tokyo Tower was changed to the South Korean equivalent Namsan Tower. All of the text on screen was digitally painted out and replaced with Korean. All the protagonists had their names changed, but they still tried to keep to the theme naming. Ichigo's name was changed to Berry Hong. The character used for Hong means red. Minto's name was translated to Mint, but her Korean last name Ju means Commonwealth, to reflect how rich she is. Retsu's name is changed to Letty, but her last name Bei can mean watercraft. Buling's name is changed to Puring, but her last name Huang stays the same. Zakuro's name is changed to Ruby, and her last name Ja means purple. The aliens keep their names, although Quiche is pronounced as Kishu like the Japanese version, and the Blue Knight is directly translated as Purigisa. One weird thing is that Aoyama's name has been changed to Minyu Huang, and he and Puring have the same character for their last names. Although the character used can also mean sulfur or reed, so they might have been referring to one of those meanings for him. The weapon names are close to the originals, but they add the word magic to them, and they all seem to possess the element of light in their attacks. Mew Berry's weapon is called Strawberry Magic Bell, and her attack is Ribbon Strawberry Light of Life. Mew Puring's weapon is called Puring Magic Ring, and her attack is called Ribbon Puring Light of Destruction, and so on as you can see in this chart. Along with text edits, there were edits for slight censorship. Quiche's pants were either raised up or his stomach lines were erased. The blood on him in episode 39 was erased, and some of the breast outlines for the creepy Chimera in episode 51 were modified and or erased. There were also slight cuts as well. All close-up on-screen kissing was cut out. Anything slightly sexualized, such as the close-up of Zakuro's legs in episode 37 was cut. And as for music, both the original opening and ending were translated and dubbed very faithfully. Although the music was made from scratch, probably due to the lack of original instrumentals. All of the insert songs were either made instrumental or replaced with original music, sometimes using songs from other shows. For example, the song that replaces Glider in episode 26 was originally the Korean dubbed opening to Fushigi Yugi.
뭐야? 뮤 베리! 이걸 사용해!
이건 마음속 깊은 곳에서 떠오르는 말이 있어. 유언과 지팡이! 빛나라! 이번 아쿠아 물방울!
Despite the heavy localization and minor cuts and edits, none of the original story or characterization was changed. Berry still laments over the fact that her first kiss was stolen, Ruby still goes to church, and all of the dark tones and death scenes were kept. The voice acting in this dub is amazing, perhaps even rivaling the original. So go check it out if you haven't done so already. There were 2 translations of the manga released. The first translation was titled OK Mew Mew, which kept the original setting and used the original Japanese names, weapons, and attacks. The second is called Berry Berry Mew Mew, and it uses the names and terms that were used in the Korean dub of the anime. They also released the sequel, which was titled New Berry Berry Mew Mew. Since Ichigo's name was changed to Berry, they had to rename Berry Shirayuki to Bunny. There was also tons of merchandise. Most were Japanese merchandise with Korean packaging, but they had a lot of original stuff as well, such as swim equipment, children's learning books, clothes, bags, an original CD-ROM game, and a cool original toy weapon that's a combination of the Straw Bell Bell and Mew Aqua Rod. It kinda makes me wish it was in the actual show. I love this dub despite the localizations and minor cuts and edits. In my opinion, if 4Kids really had to edit the show for TV, they should have followed the Korean dub's example. And that concludes the first part of this series of Mew Mew Blog Thingies regarding this topic. If you have any suggestions for a topic you want me to talk about, put it in the comments below. Tune in next time for part 2, where we'll talk about the changes made in other Asian dubs.